I'd also quite like to get some more training fields, though in the Belize it's not really worthwhile. What about changing your culture? Changing you to Aragonese would cost a lot. This is part of the reason that I do want to go after the 13 colonies. Yeah, those are English culture. If I could culture flip to English, then I can get the English doctrine. Although I really like the extra chance to capture ships, so I'm not sure I'd actually take it. Where's the list of country modifiers? Chance to capture ships, 66%. I mean, that's just such a potent combo. It probably is better than Fleet as a Wooden Wall for us. Hey, McHappy Face. Hello, how's the great piratical empire coming along? It's growing. Like we've taken little chunks of Mexico. Again, this is not a hugely expansionist game. This is going to be all about picking and choosing exactly where we want to go. Because we are far better off having other people being big than us. This is basically Tier Hut 2.0. Prime Minister of Austria says that renegotiations off the table may be heading towards a hard Brexit. The EU's been saying that all along. So that's not a new position. I still think that another referendum is more likely than a straight-up hard Brexit. But we shall see. The government's already proven itself to be completely stupid. Which is why I don't really have much faith that they're going to do the probably more intelligent thing in that instance. Some members of Parliament are having some concerns regarding our increasingly bad reputation. They're claiming it's having a negative effect on our trade relations. Well, isn't that a shame? Have some money. Also, technology. Let's have some more technology. Blink, blonk, blank. Cohorn, mortar, conscription. And another group of ideas. Which we've already kind of established should probably be offensive. That'll get us the discipline, it'll get us a little bit land force limit, it'll get us the really important siege ability. Some better generals, much better generals, prestige from land battles. Alternative would probably be quality for the extra naval stuff, but as I said before, we have not been struggling at sea, we've been struggling on land, and offensive is much stronger for that. Yeah, it's going to be offensive. Although, actually, policy-wise, trade efficiency and movement speed. You know what? That's actually a really good combination for us because we've been winning battles by hit and run. Economic ideas for more artillery combat ability. We also excel in artillery. Maritime ideas for the naval leader. Maneuver. Maneuver is really good because it boosts trade power. Yeah, those are some actually really good choices. Or quality would be +5 discipline with economic. And quality does have the capstone, which is discipline as well. So it's basically +10 discipline versus the +5 from offensive. Plus 20% morale of navies with maritime, which would be good if we were up against someone like Britain in a war, or more likely Aragon, or Portugal, possibly. And then trade for the extra 20% trade efficiency. So quality for the policies is probably stronger, but offensive in terms of just the straight up ideas. Plus their policies are pretty good, so we'll go with that. So we can keep Michael de Gramont, who will then become a 446. He's free, because he's a famous pirate. Absolutely no reason not to do that. And we can now get the Cohorn mortar. And also artillery in general is just a lot stronger because I just got +2 fire. So my artillery heavy system is doing good. Also, Cactamal just lost land to Castile. The Aztecs are still a minion. Alright, so if we try to declare war on the Aztecs, Castile would join, Fulo would not. But not New Castile? Surely New Castile would join too. Sorry I missed most of the stream, was watching the Brexit vote. Promise not to mention politics in the comments. Yeah, it's been kind of dominating chat for the past hour or so. Well, I'm going to start fabricating on the Aztecs, because that was kind of the entire point. Oh, I have to do it on Castile. Of trying to get out here. I love the last holdout. The Castellans is Galicia. Feels familiar, man. Feels familiar. And we could go up in military ideas. We're actually getting a lot of military points, so yes, we'll do that. And we just went up in Miltech as well. So let's do that. More land leader shock. Perfect. And we are very close to another government reform. Basically this time next year. We're on to YouTube comment thread. We are civilized. Yeah, I mean, the golden rule holds up. You can talk politics, just be nice. That's why that's such a good rule to have. Be nice or I'll not be nice. And I am very happy to ban people when they stop being nice. Alright, quiche is at war with New Castile. This is why I like having a strong quiche here. Can you celebrate your birthday today? I don't know, Mean Wolf. If it's your birthday, then yes, I would say you may go ahead and celebrate your birthday today. Yeah, Scottish South America cracks me up. Like, got an event saying we can do a deal with the Scottish in South America, which will also improve relations with their hinterland. The hinterland is in Scotland, which is actually dying rapidly, or this Scotland, because their capital is actually over here. Unfortunately, I had to work through most of the stream. Well, you can always get the video on demand, or this will be uploaded to YouTube once the Aragon series is done. I kind of want to have a crack at Carabas. That's going to be like the real test of our strength, or lack thereof. Also, we do need to get training fields. We got one in Havana, right? Yeah, we don't have one in Jamaica yet. Although Havana actually has the more military points invested. The other thing I do need to do is develop Quetlaxlan to get the most out of the trade. And also this needs to become an entrepot. Lots of things to do. But thus far I haven't had any excess of points. Although we're going to be finishing off trade fairly soon. At which point we'll have production and admin, because obviously military is going to be invested here. "41 today. Well, happy birthday, Mean Wolf. Now that you've confirmed it's actually your birthday today, happy birthday. And as Dutchmen can we... And as Dutch, we can light the English Navy again if Theresa May want. Don't understand what you mean by that. Are you saying can we steal the English Navy again? Because, yeah, I'm totally up for that. A promising thinker to some, a dangerous instigator to others, Benjamin Prince has recently published a new work of natural philosophy, showing that there is very likely many things that we have held evident up until now that might in fact be wrong. +1 innovativeness, but we lose tolerance of the true faith. Don't care. Religion's irrelevant. Because we are pirates. I'm not just saying that. The electorate. We can gain morale of armies or manpower recovery. Both of them are actually super strong, but I think probably citizenry. We can always go and hide on our islands if things start going wrong. Put the English Navy on fire in the Anglo-Dutch War. Yeah, I know. Sailed up the Thames. Shelled a part of London. Basically, the Dutch sailed up the Thames and shelled London, and then burned the English fleet. Yeah, I know the event. Martin von Tromp and... crap. De Ruyter. Michael de Ruyter. The two admirals involved. Okay, government reform, here we go. So yes, I think we are going to go citizenry for that plus 10 morale of armies, because that is one area where we have been struggling a bit as morale. Professionalism's up to 24, so it is growing. We are spending an awful lot of time just doing that. We could also invest in trade, although we're going to be fighting Castile soon. Probably. How large is Castile's one navy? Castile's navy is pathetic, as are their colonies. What about their army? Castile's army is also not amazing, but they are my technological equal. Although if we do enough damage to Castile proper, then their colonies may revolt, because Castile is not strong enough to hold them. Definitely not. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What is your Liberty Desire? 2. Really? 0. How the blazes have you done that? 20. Okay, so Brazil's getting a little bit uppity. I guess the other two are just too small. New Castile, I'm not surprised, because it's very small and very weak. So if Scotland declares independence, is Prince Harry its king? No. I think technically the Queen would still be the Queen. Because they're still... well... I'm not actually sure in that instance. I think technically the Queen would still be the Queen, because the dynastic union would remain. It's just the sovereign union would be broken, but then sovereignty is owned by the Queen. I don't know. I'm not actually sure. Or they'd just become a republic, which is probably more likely. Smugglers have taken over. Unacceptable. Buccaneers. Buck yourselves up, lads. I need that Republican tradition to recover. And I can get another trade idea, which is trade steering. Sure. Not going to be hugely useful here, but yeah, I guess it's still good. It'll boost value. Anything that boosts value is good. Alright, and now we can fabricate on Castile, if we were so inclined. And... yep, we are so inclined. Also, coalition. Castile is the target of a coalition from Colima and Chimchica. The Northern Orange guys. Also just wanted to double check how my aggressive expansion is. Oh, we're fine. Right, I need to get a fabrication on you first of all. Let's actually have a look. No, well, we know what we want. No, we can't reach Mexico. Well, any of these three. 16, 11, 7. So let's go with... no, can't get Texaco either. Has to be either of these two. Tlacopan. No prop... Oh, I can fabricate on you. It just uses the Castile spy network. Gotcha. So we were going with... Damn, they're both pans. I was trying to remember the name by the pan. Tlacopan. Tlacopan. Okay. Also, I've just realised we are not currently embargoing you, and we should be. And who's my other rival? Maniorca. Whom we are not embargoing either. Oh, that's tons of lost trade power. Because with the number of ships going right now, we would be bossing that embargo. Port Royal, 33% of the trade here. There's still an awful lot of money exiting. Why are the smugglers taking over all the time? Because they have massive influence boost. Because we're a smuggler's haven, which increases smuggler influence and also trade power. And we're also the Black Market Consortium, which also increases smuggler influence. Like, we are super smugglery, but I want the Republican tradition. What I think I would do in the future is probably be a Articles of Agreement, which gives the Republican tradition, and also a Black Market Consortium. Like, that combo just seems really strong. Okay, so we could now theoretically declare war on Castile. I keep having to go over to Castile to do that. Right. Or do we still declare war on the Aztecs? Yes, and then Castile defends you. That's how it works. This doesn't say Castile would call in their minions, and I can't believe that's true. I mean, I'm relatively confident we can beat them, but we could definitely beat them if they have no minions. But because we ourselves are technically a colonial nation, maybe they don't get called. I don't know. Because we seem to use the same diplomatic mechanics as a colonial nation, in that we can attack colonial nations and not call in all of the other colonials. Yeah, Charles is the next in line to be king. Isn't there talk about the end of the Commonwealth once the Queen dies? No, don't think so. The royals are super pro-Commonwealth. Yeah, some might leave the Commonwealth, but it wouldn't be dissolved. Wasn't I drilling? How come my drill is so low? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was drilling. That's really low. I'm shocked. Horrified even. Also, we definitely need to unmothball you guys because this is going to be a war that calls in Europeans. And I'm going to save before because I'm very curious to see if this is true about calling in the colonial nations. Because if it does, then I'm not going to do it yet. I need more manpower before that happens. But if it doesn't, then let's do this. First time watching the save, what's happened and what are we doing? Did you watch any of the Aragon series? Because if you did, it's technically the same save. It's just 50 years on. Right, so declare war on you. Fulo will now join. Who the hell are Fulo? African. Probably okay. Right, so that's just Castile. No, it did call in their minions. Why doesn't it tell you that? Well, no, New Castile is no shape to do anything, but they do have a lot more troops now because of this. And they are rather more local. Although, for Brazil to get to us, that's a long frickin' way. But now I need to be very aware of naval engagements. In fact, that's still a lot of people in between. They may not be able to get to us by land. In which case, that's rather more positive. Right, round one went to us. Are you actually going to be able to run away? Yes. Alright, let's go and take Mexico down. Fulo, I will be able to independently peace out. And that may not be so difficult. Alright, so from this war, I want that, and that. So I'm going to need a 61% war score from this. Yeah, and that's it. I'm quite happy for New Castile to own territory elsewhere. I just want the gold. And that's a lot of gold. So much gold. And also Mexico is a centre of trade. Okay, so yeah, playing as Aragon initially, going mostly eastward because I was expecting Castile to go west, so I'd made a promise not to go after them. Which, for the most part, I kept. That's also why Aragon owned so much of Egypt and Aden, or Ethiopia. And now, most recently, Tanzania, though that was not my doing. That's actually the AI did that. With the eventual goal of being really strong in India and pushing all the trade using trade companies back into the Genoa node. That's also why we own chunks of Italy, because I was going to try and take over Italy, because we were also the overlords of Naples, which the AI lost, hence Venice owns it. France and Morocco started crushing, and I mean crushing, Castile and started to invade, which is why France is in Iberia. I took the lands off of Morocco, which is why we own a chunk of this, and then I just decided, you know what, sod this, we're going to war with Castile, and started taking that. We also started doing some colonies in the New World, though we didn't really drive it very hard because I wanted colonial rivals, which is why there are so many large colonial rivals here. Then I got the Golden Age of Piracy event, which then started to spawn in New Providence, Port Royal, and Tortuga, and I was like, oh, I can play as a pirate. We should totally play as a pirate, so I switched to the pirates. And that is what we are doing now. So we started as, well, we did one game as New Providence, which really didn't go very well. So then we switched over to Port Royal, new save. And that is what we're doing now. So we've taken Port Royal, we've taken Havana. We took Tortuga, they are a vassal of ours, they're a march of ours in fact. And I'm planning to give them the whole of Haiti. Now that I've realised that they also get the bonuses which I give to provinces not mine, which does actually make sense. And we are now trying to move into Mexico to 1, get the gold mines, and 2, get all the centres of trade. Because we are, despite being pirates, we're actually smugglers, not pirates. So we get loads of money from trade still. Commonwealth nations collectively agreed to recognise Charles as the next head of the organisation. Nothing in the organisation requires it to be the monarch. That effectively means recognition of him as the next monarch in the nations of the royal family. Fair enough. Won't tell you they'll call in the minions because they want you to be surprised. Also, hey Otari. Okay, so yeah, we need to just siege down Mexico. Make sure these lands become ours. Whoops, that was an event. Sorry, I should have read that. Something to do with cloth, I think. Aragon's making more money. Likely won't be able to make the meet. It's an evening affair and you have the kid. You're welcome to bring the kid. I'm going to the pub tomorrow to confirm that it's child friendly, but it's up to you. Like, no worries if you can't. I'm still going. Okay, so we can start doing conversions if we wanted to. I want to build a fort here as a matter of some urgency, so we need to wait until you're cored. These... oh, you've been cored. You may as well start converting, frankly. Oh, hang on. Not at that price, though. Of course you're in a different area completely. So are you. Well, at least you have 2 provinces in this area. Alright, fine, we'll state you. It's not like I'm going to run out of states playing the way I am. It's not the pub, it's more that it starts at 6 and its bedtime is at 7:30. Fair enough. Forged ship manifests. Piracy is a dangerous business, but smuggling can carry just as much risk if the proper precautions are not taken. As smugglers make their profits by purchasing stolen goods from pirate crews and selling them for profit in legitimate markets. To sell these illegally acquired goods, the smugglers must bribe the port officials to ignore their origin or else present passport documents that proclaim their legitimacy. Steed Sparrow, a skilled forger, has recently entered our service and procured for us a number of documents that should be accepted in almost any port, ensuring that our operations will continue to run smoothly. An Aragonese trader. Hold on. Because I don't think the previous one is Aragonese. Although he is reformed, so it doesn't matter so much. No, he's Portuguese. But that does give me a second... ooh, very young. How old are you? You're only 37. Nah, we're good. And the smugglers are taken over. Back to the Buccaneers. I want that Republican tradition to continue building up. Also, there is a Brexit TV show in the works by HBO. I can tell the reviews would be gold to read even if the show turns out to be meh. Yeah. Let's go on the war footing, seeing as we have the fervour for it. And also, I've totally not been watching to see where enemy navies are. Also, I'm kind of curious to see what the Liberty Desire of these guys is. 20%, 10%. 11%, 16%, 15%, 14%. Because the one that's really done well out of the colonialism in this game is Portugal. Because Castile's been such an embarrassment, they've really done nothing. Britain's only recently joined the colonial game. France has only recently joined it. Aragon's in. I like this. I really want Scandinavia to go colonial. Please go colonial. Exploration ideas. We're gonna have another player. Yes. Morocco could theoretically... Morocco has 2. Fantastic. I think this is going to be one of the most mixed colonial games I've ever seen. Portugal, Britain, France, Aragon, Castile, Scandinavia, Morocco. That's 7. And technically, New Providence, Port Royal, Scotland. Scotland's here too. That's 10. That's 10 colonials. This is going to be a really interesting new world. I love pubs, especially Dutch ones. Sorry, but British pubs are better than Dutch. That's one thing the British have definitely got right, is the pub scene. To base production in Slampneck. Our efforts to maximise trading profits in the area of Mixteca have borne fruit in the province of Slampec. Entrepreneurs have managed to greatly increase the output of jewellery. Oh, wait. Is this the... oh, it's the gold province. Lovely jubbly. 2 free production in a gold province? Don't mind if I do. And there it is, it's cord. Well, this is definitely being stated because it's a centre of trade. And also there's 2 provinces here. Glorious. And you could now build a fort if we had the money for it. That'll need to wait though. No sign of Castellans at all. There's Mexico, sieged. Right, let's get the war goals. I am a little bit disappointed because I was really hoping to pick up a few free ships from this. But so far, nothing. What's the difference between a pub and a bar? I mean, in Britain, Utari's done a pretty good overview there, but there's also the open hours. So in Britain, pubs are generally open till 11 midnight. Bars tend to be open till midnight or 1. There is also a licensing difference. But yeah, pubs tend to be better for food, while bars are more of just alcohol and they're different clientele. Bars are really there for the nightlife. Pubs are just kind of a more casual, relaxed thing. There's a difference in Dutch pubs from the one in Rotterdam or Amsterdam or Den Haag. I've only been... No, that's not true. I've been to some in Gelderland and Amsterdam. But Dutch pubs tend to be more like either cafes or bars from my experience. There is no pubs from the British sense. Pubs are like cheap restaurants. Pubs are kind of a mixture of cafes, bars... They're just a place to hang out. I mean, they're not there. How would you describe a pub? That's actually quite difficult. Bars are only generally open in the evenings, while pubs are all day affairs. Also true. I would also say that from like a social perspective, bars are where you meet new people, pubs are where you hang out with friends. At least in Britain, it's fairly rare to talk to... Well, like that was one of the real differences between pubs in the US and pubs here. Like here I wouldn't think of going to talk to strangers, while in the US I absolutely would, especially if you're sitting at the bar. That's another thing that doesn't happen here. You don't sit at the bar, you just order drinks there. Generally, though some regulars do. It's like a position of respect to have a place at the bar. Almost. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think that changes depending on where you are. Pubs also tend to have more ales, and bars tend to be harder drinks. No one wants to work. With the generous liberties we have granted our merchants, we have ended up with a situation where people simply don't want to do honest work anymore. That's very unfortunate for them, isn't it? Also, Castile's already down to medium war enthusiasm. That's interesting. I think we just need to drive them down to low. But this might well necessitate an invasion of Castile, because I don't particularly fancy fighting their colonial nations. But going after Castile, I totally could. Oh, you know what I could do? You know how I've been talking about getting a port in Europe from which to launch pirate raids against Sevilla, privateering? Gran Canaria would do very nicely for that. Or Tenerife. I was actually thinking like one of these, but those aren't islands. They would be harder to hold. These though? These I can hold. This would also lead to a coalition, but I'm not particularly scared of that one. This is doable. That's absolutely doable. But that is going to mean that I need to hit Castile proper. Which is also doable. Like, my army is built for one thing. Landing. Which is why my flagship has mortars, which increases fleet blockade impact. It's got integrated marines, which reduces the time taken to load and unload troops from the ships, and hull sheathing just so it stays alive, and that's why it's a random galley as opposed to something bigger, because it's also cheap. And that's why he's in my transport fleet. So hit and run is something I do extremely well. So if I could hit Castile, particularly if my heavies, or just my trade fleet even, because I have plus 15% combat ability on my light ships, can hold off the colonies and stop them landing on my islands. Yeah, this is definitely doable. So I think the invasion of Europe is something that's going to have to happen next time. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to leave it on that cliffhanger because we've actually gone over. So thanks everyone for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this, then do consider subscribing. It helps the channel out and lets me do more of this kind of content. You can also check out my Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/MordredViking. Any support you can give is obviously very much appreciated and just lets me continue doing this as a job. I do have a YouTube channel where this series will be uploaded. It's currently uploading the Aragon series, so if you want to know how on earth Europe in particular got to be so crazy, especially this glorious spectacle right here, it's amazing, came to be, then the Aragon series on YouTube, youtube.com/MordredViking is the way to find out. I also have a Discord, which is where I hang out. It's also where the community hangs out, so if you want to come hang with us, talk about games, if you have any questions that you need answered, anything like that, then that is the place to do it. You can find that at the link that I've just posted. That's it for me for now. I will be back again in probably about an hour. I might start the next stream a little bit late because I still need to eat. I haven't had my dinner yet. But I will be streaming some more Total War Warhammer 2 Steel Faith mod with the dwarfs. The resistance against the vampires will continue. Thank you everyone for watching. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye. Oh, you know what this also means? Oh yes, that there's something coming up. Bye.